Thank you for your patience. So I have to go a little bit into installation. I will try to do this as short as possible. If I go too
Okay.
fast or too slow, let me know. If you have questions, just interrupt me, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So when you purchase our program and you install it, it's a Windows-based program. You will end up installing two programs. I show them here. There's two icons on my desktop. And the
Okay.
first one is going to create the database. You do this only once. If you have a server, that's the preferred location, but it can be on any computer. The
Okay.
management by statistics program itself, it's this icon, and the licensing is not per computer, which means if you have 10 computers in your office, you can install the program there 10 times. On each
Okay.
workstation, you'll need to connect to the same database so that you share the same information. All right?
Okay.
The licensing is how many users you have, and so how many people can use it at the same time. And when you
Same time.
purchase the single user, we give you two free users as a bonus, so you basically end up with a three user license when you purchase it. Okay,
Okay.
so when I double click on this, it opens the program, and I'm just going to close it so that I can do that with you.
Okay.
So when I do that, it asks me to sign in. Each user is identified by his name and a password. You can set this up obviously, and you can
Okay.
configure the access for each user. Let me make this a little bit, let me move this a little bit. There you go. You can see here I'm signed in as Mark Netcher, and you can configure what each user can view and can do. Okay?
Okay.
There's two parts in the program. There are different screens. So one is called dashboard. That's where I am now. And that's where you enter values, you print reports, you print the graphs, and so on. I'll show you in a minute how that works. Before you do that, when you start using the program, you have to set it up. So usually people have to create their company, and that's done in administration. I'll just go over
Okay.
here to show you the general idea. I'm not going into too many details, but I just want to show it's simple and it's something that's flexible. So you have a box here, and when you select
Yeah.
something, for example, maintain companies, can you read this? You have,
Yeah.
I have family practice, Mastertech, so we have several companies in this database. Okay?
Okay.
Everything works by buttons here, so wherever you are, you can always click on the add button. When I do this, it opens up a wizard and I can follow the steps. It's leading me by the hand to enter the employees. I'm going to put one test. I'm not going to create it, but just to show you. So when you do this,
Okay.
the wizard um, helps you. Let me go here. So you can set up a calendar for your company with a week
Okay.
ending day and the days you're open for business. And then you can enter all the employees that you want. You can enter for each
Okay.
employee one or more posts, and for each post one or more statistics. Okay? So I'm not
Okay.
going to do that, but to edit something, it's simple. It's always the same. Let's say I want to edit this family practice. I double click, and then it opens the same wizard, but this time with the information that I entered in there. So I can change it very easily. Those commands that I showed you, they're the same for all the information inside your company. So for example, if I select employees, I don't need to go to the company to do that. I can select employees, for example, in family practice, and I will see the list of all my employees in here. And it's always the
Okay.
same. If I want to add one, I just click on an add button again. If I want to edit, for example, rows, I double click, and then I can change whatever I want. So
Okay.
the idea is this works with posts. With posts, what you do is you create a post and you can assign it to an employee. So when time comes that somebody leaves his post, you just enter the change. So you edit the post and you enter the new employee name. And this information will be viewable on each graph, on each statistic graph. You will see a dotted line and it's going to tell you before this date. In this example, it was Beth. After the 18th, it's going to be Robert. So that you have a way to maintain just the post but keep all the graphs so you don't have to recreate those. All right?
Right. Okay.
That's a general
Understood.
idea about how it is set up. On statistics, I need to do a little bit more than just show you. When I add a statistic, I can enter a name and a post. Now, most of the statistics you create are standard. What I mean by that is they're just going to be graphs. When you enter values, the program will graph it automatically for you. But based on those standard statistics, you can build more complex statistics, which use the values you have already entered. So the program is not Excel, but if you enter, for example, sales 1 and sales 2, you can create a total sales which will automatically sum up the values, or it can
So
automatically
basically,
display the two.
okay, so basically I have two organizations that we use. So for new assessments, I can have a graph for one location, new assessments for the other locations, and then total assessments for both locations. Is that what you mean?
Yes, exactly. You can sum them up. You can do any operation that you want. For example, calculate percentages, averages, all these things. And you won't have to re-enter the data. It's just going to pull up the values for the two individual statistics that you created, one for each company, and just compute it for you automatically. That's very flexible. Okay?
Okay.
Now, when you've done this and you go to dashboard, I need to show you a little bit how this works. So once you have set it up, you can view the data. Now, let me go to a little bit later in time because um, otherwise you won't see any change. Let me go to December here. There we go. All right. So the organization looks a bit the same. If you have multiple companies, in your case you'll have two, so you can switch between companies here. And then
Okay.
what you select here will just change how many graphs and which graphs are displayed in the main window. In this case, in all statistics, I will see the list of all my statistics. So if I go to bills, that's what I'll see. If I go to new patients, that's what I'll see, and so on. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Let me move this a little bit in time. Now, to enter data, you do that here in statistic entry. There's different ways to enter values. I'm just going to show you. This one, values by statistic, is nice if you have a backlog or if you have values already in an electronic format like Excel. You can select one statistic at a time. So now I'm looking at new patients here. So I'm going to select new patients. And if I go back in my, this is the calendar with the values entered. If I go back here, why don't I see it? New patients, receptionist, this is December 13. Yeah, I'm still looking at 2015, that's why I don't see data. Just give me a second. There we go. So if I enter something, for example, on December the 15th, I select the date, and in this field I can enter, let's say, 2, and I click on save, and it will update my graph here. All right?
Okay.
If you set up, so if you have values in Excel or something like that, you can easily select them and make a copy paste from Excel or to Excel. That's easy to do. Now,
Okay.
you can enter values daily like I did here. So you can see here that this is the dates follow one each other, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I enter my data daily. And when I put my mouse on each value, it shows me what that value is. I can automatically view the totals if I go to weekly. Now I have the total for the week, and if I put the mouse over it, I can see the breakdown. Where does that total come from? Of course, I can do that for up to the yearly values and so on. So by entering values, for example, daily, you can automatically view the totals for different periods of time. Okay?
Okay.
If I go to values by period, that's a different way of entering data. This one is nice if you're doing one statistic at a time, but if you have many, what you do is, for example, in this case, I selected daily statistics here, and I have three of them.
Okay.
So let's say it's today. I can take today's date, and then I can enter a value for all of them and click on save, and I will have updated all my daily or weekly or whatever statistics. You can create
Okay.
individual groups here so that you can sort the entry order and which statistics you have appearing in this list here. Alright, so that's a little bit about the entry. Now, The rest of the information here is going to use the way you set up the company to display the graphs. For example, if I go to posts, in this case, if I go to the receptionist, you can see the name Robert Gray. He only has one graph. If I go to the office manager, there's already two. The arrows here and those icons, they're to help you display the data differently. This means I have more than two graphs, so I can switch to this. If I want to see that, I can make the graphs much smaller, or even more than that, so I can view many graphs at the same time. Okay? In
Okay.
this case, I use the posts. If an employee has multiple posts, I can also go to the employees, select his name, and then I will see all the statistics for that specific employee. Okay? The
Okay.
last one is groups. This is groups enables you. I'm going to edit, for example, this one. You can create a group. This one is called Information Center. And here you can pick and choose from your list of statistics which ones you want and in which order. You can create as many groups as you want. So in your case, for example, you could create a group for one company, a group for division one statistics, a group for only weekly stats or monthly stats, whatever you want. It just makes it easier to view them, to enter the data specifically for those statistics, and also to print a report and email it or something like that. All right? It's just a
Okay.
general overview. Um, okay, now since it's set up so that um, I assign myself the statistics for the receptionist. So if I go to my post only, what I'll see is, even if it's not my name, when I signed in with my account, I gave myself the rights of Robert Gray, so that's why I have that. But normally, the name of the person and the post will be displayed on each graph like this.
Okay. Okay.
Advanced functions from here, you can, let's say I want to view an automatic, I want to create a red line graph or a quota. I can just
Mhm.
switch here, and I have to go back in time. So I enter my data daily. So I could, for example, look at my data on a weekly basis. So I'm looking at new patients. The numbers here are automatically accumulated from the entries that we entered. Okay?
Right.
And I can say, let's say my target was to have 14. I can click on the graph and enter 14 here. Click on save, and now I'll see if I'm above or beyond that line which I assigned myself to. You can set
Okay.
a quota. It can change per week. If I go to the next week, I can set a different one. And I can, of course, set, for example, a yearly quota if I want to. So this is a function that's inside. You don't have to do anything about it. Your original data is still the same. It does it automatically. Okay, so that's
Okay.
one thing. Um, Now, per statistic, the ones that you have assigned to yourself, we have wizards where you can write up conditions and battle plans. Are you familiar with the management by statistics technology?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take this an example. If I click on create a new condition write-up, I only have one statistic assigned to myself, so it will list it. I'm going really quick over this because we have
Yep.
step-by-step tutorials on our website if you need to take a look at that, okay?
Okay.
So
Yep.
I'm going to look at this, and well, this is not the right date. So if you look at the last week, let's take this one. It's not going
Mhm.
to assign a condition automatically, but you have a help to help you do that. So if you think that this is a normal trend, it'll show you what normal looks like and then what the trend looks like. So that
Mhm.
doesn't look like normal, it looks more like action effluence. If I do that, okay, this looks more like it. So it's a visual aid in case people wonder. Once you do that, though, all the steps of the formula are automatically selected and copied. Okay, so
Okay.
you can then you can amend this information with your own commands why you assign this specific condition. And when you click on next at
Okay.
the end, you have a report with a graph. and you have the different writings that you put up. This is saved. You can print it, you can email it as, or you can save it as a PDF file, and you can email it, for example. And next week you can come back and edit it, obviously. Uh, I'm not going to save this
Okay,
one.
so essentially, if I'm doing weekly statistics and I'm posting up each, let's just say, patient visits weekly, quote is 80. However, one of our therapists only hits 60 or something, so it's going to automatically put them in the formula that they need, and I could print that off and kind of post that up so they could see unless it's a danger or something where I need to bypass, but it'll essentially show them, right?
No, you're right in the fact that you can immediately find the condition, but the program is by design is not going to do it for you. You have to look at the graph and decide which condition is assigned to it. Once you have assigned
Oh, okay.
normal, then all the steps of the formula will be there. But the report is empty. You will have the steps of the formula, but the idea is that each person is responsible for his or her own statistics. So they are the persons who can write up the conditions and pick and choose the one, well, they assign the correct one and then comment on it, why they assigned it. So um, once you made the selection, you're right, all the steps are automatically generated, but you still have, that step is still a step you have to take yourself.
Okay.
Did I answer that question or?
Yeah, yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Now you can then go to battle plans. I'm just going to show you on our website what it looks like. Can you see this? I'm
Yep.
assuming, right? Okay. If I go here, so we have step-by-step tutorials, but just to show you, if I click on writing a condition formula, it takes you by the hand. So for example, it says click actions, number one, number two, click write a new condition formula, and so on. So you have a full, completely worked out tutorial here. And after you do that, writing a condition formula, you can also write a battle plan. The idea is the same. You will use the condition write-up that you have just made on a specific statistic, and you can then generate, let me go a bit further. Um, you can generate the battle plan, so you can insert as many, let me go a bit further. So you can add as many sections as you want, as many subsections, and then you can basically translate the condition right up into a battle plan. What do you need to do? And then next week you can come back and then you can edit this, you can check the things that have been done, the things that still need to be done, and so on. As a senior person in the organization, when you sign in with your own user, you will be able to use this information. You can copy paste it in reports, things like that. You cannot change it. Only the person who has the statistic assigned to himself can write up the condition and the battle plan. Okay? So the
Okay.
idea is that they're responsible for it. So if you want to bypass them, you can, and then it generates a report, you can give it to them. But ideally, what we want is people to learn how to use the tool themselves, of course. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I think those are the most. So this is all available in a Windows computer that is connected to the database. If you're not, what you can do is we have built-in online functionalities. There is a wizard for that. You click here, and then in my case, I already activated it, so I don't do it for the first time, but I can change what I have done. If I click on here, it's just to show you that it's a simple tool. This is registration. So I can select all the companies in my database that I want to be able to access online. So if it's not checked, it
Okay.
won't be available. And then the wizard walks you through the groups, the statistics, so you can individually, if I go to our statistics, you'll see most of them are checked. So you have control over each type of information that you want to be made accessible or not. And you can also,
Okay.
depending on the users you created, you can give them access or not. Okay? So that's
Okay.
how easy it is. Once that's done, um, you can from any device with internet access, so you can do this from a cell phone, from a smartphone, from a tablet, from a Mac, from wherever you are. You can just go to our website And then you have a link here. Let me sign in. Then you sign in with your credential. Let's hope that works. All right. And then you have, as it were, a simplified version of the same program. So this is the Windows program. In here I have dashboard administration. If I click on, for example, let me go to Mastertech because that's what we have here. So if I go to my post only, I will see my own letters. Okay, for example, I can make this a bit smaller so that you can see there's more. There we go. And if I'm not at the office and I want to do it from home, I can go online, and this is the online application. So
Okay.
right now I'm online, I'm signed in here. I click my post, and again I can see my own statistics. So in here we're keeping improvements to this. This is free. The using It's just a fee for purchasing the program with the licenses. There is no other fee after that. So once you have the licenses, they're yours to keep, and you can use the online features as well. There is no fee for that either. It's included in the price, just like the technical support. So we support installing it for you, training it, and training, helping you use it. Whatever you need, it's all included in the same price. And to enter
Okay.
values here, you just click on values, for example, and then you can enter something. Once you click on save, what happens is the data is automatically saved and synchronized with your own database. So we don't keep a copy of your database, it's encrypted with security, and the changes you make are just automatically synchronized with your own database. It's
Okay.
for now. Um, in the coming weeks, we're going to add the conditions and the battle plans online as well. The only thing that is not here for now is the admin functions to create graphs and so on. So for now, it's a two-step process. You go to the, let me minimize this. You go here to administration, for example, to statistics to create a new statistic. Once you do that, you just update what's on the cloud, and once it's updated on the cloud, then it becomes available on the online version. All right, it will
Okay.
change in the future, but for now it's a two-step process.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds
that's
good.
basically, I think, a global walkthrough of everything. Do you have any question, or is there something that you want to take a closer look at?
Yeah. What's the price right now?
It's $360 for the total of the three users, so it's one user plus two as a bonus.
Is that all in, like per year, or
It's all in. There is no extra fee for
all in?
using it online. It's a one-time fee.
Okay. So 365.
No,
Okay.
360, sorry, 360.
360. Okay. And that's American, obviously.
Yes.
And then how much can you guys transfer, like, so we've been doing hand statistics for probably the last 4 or 5 months, but before that we were using real statistics. Are you guys able to transfer that? Do you
Yes,
know?
we as soon as you have the data, because we have no issue with that in our private experience, in our prior experience, sorry. So normally real statistics will be able to, because they have your data, right? So they are able
Right.
to transfer you the in electronic format. Once you have that, we can help you import it in Management by Statistics 3. Yes. But we don't have access to their own data, obviously. So you'll have to ask them to
Okay.
do that for you. However, my experience is that they do that.
Okay. Cool. Okay, no, that's the only questions I have. Likely give you a call.
Sure. Are you still there? I think I lost you.